Shaun Hill gets the start today. Why?
Well, I think it's a smart play. Why? Because it gives the Vikings the best chance to win today.
Deep downfield off the play fake. Diggs, and he's able to come up with the ball.
What if I told you there was a quarterback who made $78 million before throwing a single NFL pass? Not Tom Brady, not Patrick Mahomes, not Peyton Manning. A rookie, fresh out of college, zero pro experience. And he secured a contract so massive, so absurd, that the entire NFL changed their rules to make sure it could never happen again. Sam Bradford didn't just finesse the system, he broke it. He walked through a loophole so big that the league slammed it shut behind him, trapping every future rookie in a salary cap that would have saved teams hundreds of millions. This is the story of perfect timing, incredible hype, and one quarterback who became the last man to rob the NFL blind before they rewrote the entire rulebook. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how he pulled off one of the greatest finesse moves in sports history, and why today's superstars will never see that kind of money as rookies. Let's get into it. Sam Bradford was born November 8, 1987 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And from jump, this kid was destined to be an athlete. Not just good, exceptional. The type of natural talent that made everything look easy. Growing up, Bradford wasn't just playing football. He was dominating basketball, running track, playing golf, multi-sport athlete with that rare combination of size, speed, and coordination that scouts dream about. But it was on the football field where he really started turning heads. See, Bradford wasn't your typical quarterback prospect. He had the prototypical size, 6 feet, 4 inches, strong arm, quick release. But what separated him was his mind. Even in high school at Putnam City North, coaches were shocked by how quickly he processed the game, how calm he was under pressure, how he never seemed rattled, never panicked, never forced throws. That composure? That's what got him recruited by Oklahoma University. Bob Stoops, the legendary Sooners head coach, saw something special in this kid. Not just physical tools, but that quarterback IQ that you can't teach, that field vision, that decision-making, that leadership presence that makes teammates believe. Bradford committed to Oklahoma, and from the moment he stepped on campus, it was clear he was different. As a redshirt freshman in 2006, he was already pushing for playing time. By 2007, he was the full-time starter. And what he did next? Man, it shocked everybody. His sophomore season in 2007, Bradford threw for over 3,100 yards and 36 touchdowns. 36! As a sophomore, he was carving up defenses like a 10-year veteran. Precision passing, perfect timing, reading defenses pre-snap like he had the playbook memorized in his sleep. But that was just the warm-up, because what he did in 2008? That's when Sam Bradford became a household name. The 2008 college football season belongs to Sam Bradford, period. This wasn't just a great year. This was one of the most dominant quarterback performances in NCAA history. Let me give you the numbers, and you tell me if this don't sound like a video game. 4,720 passing yards, 50 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions, a completion percentage of 68.9%. Those aren't college stats, fam. Those are Madden stats with the sliders turned all the way up. Oklahoma was unstoppable. Bradford was threading needles, dropping dimes, making throws that had NFL scouts saying, "Hold up, this kid is special." He had touch on his deep balls, accuracy on his short routes. He could read zone coverage, beat man coverage, audible at the line. He was doing things that juniors in college simply don't do. And the accolades? They came pouring in. Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, Davey O'Brien Award, Walter Camp Award. But the crown jewel, the one that cemented his legacy, the Heisman Trophy. December 13th, 2008. Sam Bradford won the Heisman Trophy in a landslide, became the second Oklahoma quarterback to win it after Jason White. And he won it as a sophomore. Most Heisman winners are seniors who've been building their resume for years. Bradford did it in his second year starting. When he walked up to that stage, everybody knew. This kid was the next big thing. Scouts were already calling him the most NFL-ready quarterback since Peyton Manning. That's not hype. That's legitimate analysis from people who evaluate talent for a living. Bradford led Oklahoma to the 2009 BCS National Championship game against Florida. They lost to Tim Tebow and the Gators, but Bradford's performance throughout the season had already written his draft stock in permanent ink. He was going to be a top pick. That was never in question. Now, at this point, Bradford had a decision to make. He could enter the 2009 NFL Draft as a junior and likely go top 5. Or he could come back for his senior year, try to win a national championship, and risk injury or a down season that could hurt his stock. He chose to come back, and that decision almost cost him everything. His senior season in 2009 started strong. Oklahoma was ranked high in preseason polls. Bradford was the favorite to repeat as Heisman winner. Everything was perfect. Until the second game of the season against BYU. Bradford injured his shoulder, a C-joint, season-ending. Just like that, his 2009 campaign was over after a game and a half. The same shoulder he'd used to throw NFL passes was damaged. The same arm that scouts drooled over was now a question mark. Suddenly, Bradford's draft stock was uncertain. Would he fall out of the first round? Would teams be scared of the injury? Would he have to prove himself all over again? But here's where the finesse started. Because even with the injury, even with missing almost his entire senior season, Sam Bradford's tape from 2008 was so good, so undeniable, that teams couldn't ignore him. The 2010 NFL Draft was approaching, and Bradford was still projected to go in the top 5. Maybe even number 1 overall. And that's exactly what happened. But it's what happened after he got drafted that changed everything. April 22, 2010, Radio City Music Hall in New York City, the NFL Draft. The St. Louis Rams had the number 1 overall pick. They'd just gone 1-15 the previous season, worst record in football. They desperately needed a franchise quarterback, someone to build around, someone to give their fans hope. When Roger Goodell stepped to the podium and said, "With the first pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select Sam Bradford, quarterback Oklahoma," nobody was surprised. This was expected. Bradford put on the Rams hat, smiled for the cameras, held up the jersey, standard draft night stuff. But what happened in the contract negotiations over the next few months? That's where the real story is. That's where Sam Bradford pulled off one of the greatest finesse moves in NFL history. See, back in 2010, before the 2011 collective bargaining agreement changed everything, rookie contracts were wild. There was no wage scale, no cap on what you could pay a first-round pick. Teams were competing against each other, bidding wars for top talent, and agents were getting paid. Sam Bradford's agent, Tom Condon, went into negotiations with one goal: get the biggest rookie deal in NFL history, and he knew he had leverage. The Rams needed Bradford. They weren't going to draft him first overall and then lowball him, so Condon played hardball. After months of back and forth, they finally agreed to terms. And when the numbers came out, the entire sports world stopped. 6 years, $78 million. $50 million guaranteed. Let me say that again for the people in the back. $50 million guaranteed before Sam Bradford threw a single NFL pass. That wasn't just a record for a rookie. That was more guaranteed money than most veteran Pro Bowl quarterbacks had seen in their entire careers. Tom Brady, who'd already won 3 Super Bowls at that point, hadn't made $50 million guaranteed in his life. But Sam Bradford, who'd never taken a snap under center in the pros, had that locked in before training camp even started. The deal was absurd. It was excessive. It was a perfect storm of timing, hype, and a broken system. And Bradford? He cashed that check without hesitation. But here's what makes this even crazier. Bradford wasn't alone. Jamarcus Russell, the first overall pick in 2007, had gotten $31 million guaranteed and completely busted. Matthew Stafford, picked first in 2009, got $41.7 million guaranteed. The trend was escalating every single year. Rookie contracts were spiraling out of control, and teams were getting burned left and right. The NFL owners were sick of it. They were paying unproven college kids more than proven NFL veterans. They were guaranteeing tens of millions to players who might not even make it past their rookie contract. It was financial insanity. So in 2011, when the new collective bargaining agreement was negotiated, the owners made one thing crystal clear: rookie contracts had to be capped. They introduced the rookie wage scale, a slotted system where each draft pick has a predetermined salary range based on where they're selected. No more negotiations, no more bidding wars, no more $78 million deals for unproven players. And just like that, the loophole closed. Sam Bradford was the last man through before the door slammed shut forever. Think about the timing. If Bradford had been drafted 1 year later in 2011, he would have made a fraction of what he got. The rookie wage scale for the first overall pick in 2011? About $22 million total with $13 million guaranteed. That's less than a third of what Bradford secured. He didn't just hit the lottery, he hit it at the exact moment before they changed the lottery rules. That's the finesse, fam. Perfect timing, perfect hype, perfect positioning. Sam Bradford became the richest rookie in NFL history right before the league made sure nobody could ever do it again. But here's where the fairy tale ends and reality kicks in. Because making $78 million and earning $78 million, those are two very different things. Bradford's rookie season in 2010 actually started promising. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year, threw for 3,512 yards and 18 touchdowns. Not spectacular, but solid for a rookie on a terrible team. The Rams went 7-9, a massive improvement from their 1-15 disaster the year before. Bradford showed flashes, made some impressive throws, looked like maybe, just maybe, he could live up to the contract, but then the injuries started, and they never stopped. 2011, his second season, he played all 16 games, but the team regressed. 2012, he separated his shoulder, missed the end of the season. 2013, he tore his ACL in the final game of the year. 2014, he tore his ACL again in the preseason before playing a single game. 2 torn ACLs in back-to-back years. That's career-threatening. Most quarterbacks don't come back from one. Bradford had 2, and while he was sitting on the sideline in street clothes, collecting his guaranteed millions, the criticism got loud. Sports media destroyed him. Headlines calling him the most overpaid player in NFL history. Articles asking, did Sam Bradford ruin rookie contracts for everyone? Fans furious that their team was paying top-tier money for a guy who couldn't stay healthy. And look, it wasn't Bradford's fault that he got injured. Injuries happen, football is violent, but the optics? Man, the optics were terrible. He was making more money than Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, guys who were actually playing and winning games. Meanwhile, Bradford was on injured reserve watching from the sideline. The Rams moved on. Traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles in 2015 in a deal that sent Nick Foles the other way. Bradford spent 1 year in Philly, played all 16 games, threw for 3,725 yards. But the team went 7-9 and missed the playoffs. The Eagles decided he wasn't their long-term answer, so he got traded again. This time to the Minnesota Vikings in 2016. And honestly, this was probably the best football of Bradford's career. He completed 71.6% of his passes, setting an NFL single-season record at the time. He looked sharp, confident, healthy. Vikings fans thought they finally had their guy. But then, you guessed it, another injury. Knee issues forced him to miss most of 2017. The Vikings moved on, signing Kirk Cousins to a massive deal. Bradford signed with the Arizona Cardinals as a backup in 2018, barely played, and then quietly retired. Look at the career trajectory. Oklahoma legend, Heisman Trophy winner, first overall pick, richest rookie ever, to journeyman backup who retired at 30 years old without ever winning a playoff game. 0 playoff appearances in 8 NFL seasons, 0 Pro Bowls, 0 All-Pro selections. Just a lot of injuries, a lot of what could have been, and a bank account with $78 million sitting in it. The decline was gradual, but inevitable. After leaving the Rams, Bradford became a hired gun, a veteran quarterback teams brought in hoping he'd stay healthy long enough to be serviceable. Philadelphia Eagles, 2015. Started 14 games, decent numbers, no playoff appearance, traded after 1 year. Minnesota Vikings, 2016 to 2017. 1 great season setting the completion percentage record, then immediately derailed by knee injuries. Case Keenum ended up leading the Vikings to the NFC Championship game in 2017, while Bradford watched from the sideline. Arizona Cardinals, 2018. Signed as a backup, played 3 games, threw for 400 yards, got benched, retired quietly with 0 fanfare. That's how it ended, fam. No big farewell tour, no retirement press conference, no emotional goodbye. Just a 30-year-old former Heisman winner walking away from the game because his body couldn't handle it anymore and teams stopped calling. Throughout all of this, Bradford never recaptured that college magic, never became the next Peyton Manning that scouts promised, never led a team to the playoffs, never won a meaningful game in January, just collected checks and dealt with rehab. And the whole time, that $78 million contract haunted him. Every article about his career mentioned it. Every time he got injured, people brought it up. Every debate about rookie contracts included his name. He became the poster child for why the system needed to change. Critics weren't wrong. Bradford made more guaranteed money than guys like Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and Eli Manning had made at that point in their careers. And those were guys with Super Bowl rings and MVP awards. Bradford had Offensive Rookie of the Year from 2010. That's it. But here's the thing nobody wants to talk about. Sam Bradford didn't do anything wrong. He didn't make the system. He didn't negotiate with himself. He didn't force the Rams to give him that contract. His agent did his job. The Rams made a business decision. Bradford just showed up and signed the papers. Can you blame him? If someone offers you $78 million guaranteed, are you going to say, "No thanks? That's too much? Just give me $20 million?" Of course not. You take the money. You secure your family's future for generations. You don't apologize for it. But the legacy is complicated. Because Sam Bradford will forever be remembered not for his Heisman Trophy, not for his college dominance, not even for his NFL career, but for the contract, for being the last guy to finesse the system before it got fixed. So what happened after Sam Bradford broke the bank? The NFL said, never again. The 2011 collective bargaining agreement completely overhauled rookie contracts. They introduced a wage scale that capped salaries based on draft position. No more negotiations. No more bidding wars. No more $78 million deals for unproven players. Let me show you the difference. In 2010, Sam Bradford, first overall pick, got $78 million total, with $50 million guaranteed. In 2011, just 1 year later, Cam Newton, also first overall pick, got $22 million total with about $13 million guaranteed. That's a $56 million difference in 1 year, just because the rules changed. And it's not just about total money, it's about guaranteed money. Bradford got $50 million guaranteed. Newton got $13 million. That's the safety net, the money you get no matter what happens. Bradford had nearly 4 times more security than Newton, and Newton went on to win MVP and take his team to a Super Bowl. But he'll never make that rookie money Bradford got. Let's look at more recent first overall picks to really drive this home. 2018, Baker Mayfield, $32 million total, $21 million guaranteed. 2019, Kyler Murray, $35 million total, $23 million guaranteed. 2020, Joe Burrow, $36 million total, $23.9 million guaranteed. 2023, Bryce Young, $37.5 million total, $24.1 million guaranteed. All of these guys, franchise quarterbacks, Heisman winners, #1 overall picks just like Bradford, making half or less of what he made. And some of them are legitimately elite players. Joe Burrow took the Bengals to a Super Bowl, but his rookie deal still nowhere close to Bradford's. The rookie wage scale didn't just save teams money, it fundamentally changed the economics of the NFL. Now, teams can draft a franchise quarterback and pay him rookie wages for 4 or 5 years while surrounding him with veteran talent. That's how the Seahawks built a dynasty around Russell Wilson's cheap rookie deal. That's how the Chiefs won a Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes on his rookie contract. The system works better now? Nobody's arguing that, but it came at a cost. Future rookies will never see the type of money Bradford got, no matter how talented they are. Sam Bradford didn't just finesse the NFL. He finessed it so hard that they changed the rules. He walked through a loophole that existed for maybe 5 years max, at the exact perfect moment, and secured generational wealth before the door closed behind him forever. He's the last of a dying breed, the final boss of rookie contracts, the guy who broke the system so badly that they had to rebuild it from scratch. And honestly, that's legacy, fam. Maybe not the legacy he wanted. He probably would have preferred a Super Bowl ring, but it's a legacy nonetheless. When people talk about the history of NFL contracts, Sam Bradford's name will always come up. When they teach business school classes about negotiation and timing, they'll use his deal as a case study. When future rookies wonder why they can't make more money, someone will say, because of Sam Bradford. So what's the moral of this story? Sam Bradford didn't just play the game, he changed how it pays. He didn't do it on purpose. He wasn't trying to destroy the rookie contract system. He was just a talented quarterback who happened to get drafted at the exact perfect moment in history when teams were paying insane money to unproven players and the league hadn't fixed it yet. Was he smart? Absolutely. His agent Tom Condon played the negotiation perfectly. Was he lucky? Without question. Being drafted 1 year earlier or later would have cost him $50 million. Was he overpaid? That depends on how you define value. If we're talking production on the field, yes. He never lived up to that contract. But if we're talking about securing generational wealth and changing the system, then maybe he earned every penny. The truth is, Sam Bradford finessed the NFL out of millions, not by being the best player, but by being the right player at the right time with the right leverage. And you know what? Good for him. He didn't break any rules. He didn't cheat. He just took advantage of a system that was fundamentally broken. And because of him, that system got fixed. Rookies today make less. But teams are smarter. The league is healthier. The economics make more sense. Sam Bradford walked through that door so today's rookies could never run that rich again. That's his legacy. That's his story. That's how one quarterback finessed the entire NFL and got away with it. So what do you think? Was Sam Bradford a genius for securing that bag? Or did he ruin it for every rookie that came after him? Was he overpaid? Or did he just play the game better than anyone else? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you learned something new today, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories about the wildest moments in sports history. And turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, remember, sometimes the biggest win isn't on the field. Sometimes it's in the contract.